This weekend we had a small warehousing issue where we weren't able to use our offsite warehouse. So I needed something quickly. So I just texted Lisa and said, "Hey, do you guys know of anything locally?" And Monday morning, 8:00, I called James, and James said, "Yeah, meet me over here and let's go look and see what we have."
Welcome to Gone to Texas, the official podcast of the Texas Economic Development Connection. On every episode, we share the stories of business owners and CEOs who have relocated or expanded their business into Texas. Our goal is to use these stories as a guide to help others who are ready to hang a sign on the door that says, "Gone to Texas." And now, please welcome your host, the Managing Partner and Chief Inspiration Officer for Day One Experts, Super Dave Quinn.
Hi, friends, and welcome back to Gone to Texas podcast, powered by Day One Experts, where we share real stories of business growth, relocation, and entrepreneurship here in the Lone Star State. Today's episode is sponsored by our friends at the Kilgore Economic Development Corporation, who are helping businesses every day grow and expand here in the Upper East Texas region. In this episode of our Kilgore Spotlight series, we're joined by Tyler Esters of CSI. His company is helping manufacturers embrace sustainability and innovation while building on the advantages of being right here in Kilgore. It's a great story and how a forward-looking company can thrive right here in East Texas. All right. Well, Tyler, thanks for being here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, Liz, can you give me a little context in our audience what CSI is? CSI, in my mind, is like the TV show, right? So that's what I go to. Every time Lisa would say that, I was like, my daughter loves that show. She's like, it's not the show.
It's a little different. It's just a slight difference. So CSI is a global manufacturing company of closures. So we make bottle caps. We make a lot of them.
Okay.
Our plant in Kilgore makes roughly 30 million a day. It's a lot of volume, of course.
That's a whole lot of bottle caps.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I don't know that I can comprehend how many bottle caps that is.
Yeah, it's really fast, and our constraints with that is making sure that it's a quality bottle cap too, right?
Right.
It comes out. It's at that rate. A lot of our lines are 1,200 caps per minute. So
Okay.
It's pretty fast. You know, you can't see them as fast as they're moving through, right?
Right.
So we have a lot of vision systems that capture defects. But anyway, we make a lot of closures for a lot of different kinds of product. We make medical. A lot of food grade, so a lot of like your dairy water bottles and some oil closures. If you look inside of your cap, a lot of times you'll see our logo on the head.
That's pretty interesting. I will now not ever open a bottle and not look.
Yeah, it's pretty common. It's funny because there's certain ones that we make only in Kilgore.
Uh-huh.
And, we'll be somewhere. My wife rolls her eyes at me every time because we'll be somewhere and she'll see me look, and I could tell without even looking on the inside of the bottle because
Right.
we're the only people that make it.
Okay.
And I'll say, I can tell you exactly where this cap was made. She's like,
Did she
that
say?
was impressive the first time.
Right. Like, my wife is like, and no one else cares. Right.
Yeah, pretty much. She's like, yeah, it's cool. Like, the first time you said it 10 years ago.
Right. So how did you get into bottle making? Tell me a little bit about your backstory.
So I've had a pretty, I would say, less than traditional entry into industry and manufacturing.
Okay.
I went to school for power plant technology right out of high school. Went and worked at a local power plant for 4 years. And just through some challenges that company was going through, I decided to start looking elsewhere and looking at what a long-term career looks like.
Right.
And ended up, I knew some people that worked at CSI here in Kilgore, and started out as a mechanic at this plant 8 years ago, about earlier this month.
Okay.
So started there and man, it was cool. Like, it was a different world, and it always seemed like, something new every day. So it kind of fed my ADD personality, and decided to go back to school and learn some electrical and programming type stuff. And then went an engineering route.
Okay.
And started growing there, really, really latched on, then went for a business degree at UT Tyler, and then found a program at A&M that was a master's degree program, and that was mostly remote. Had to spend a couple weeks down there, and they'd make you drink the Kool-Aid, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's been a really interesting path of just a lot of giants along the way that have really
Right.
mentored me and taught me a lot that I owe a lot to. And hopefully, now I'm in a position that I get to try to be that for somebody else,
So CSI today, your customer base, you're making that many lids. You talked a little bit about that wherever you travel. Is it a global product? Do y'all ship all over?
Yeah. So we actually have 3 locations in the U.S., 2 in Mexico, and then several in just scattered in. I think we have 2 in Japan and a few other places.
Okay.
So
wow.
Yeah. So it's a global manufacturer. Most of our shipments stay within the U.S. or at least Americas, and coming from our plant specifically, and then based on the region you're in.
All right.
It kind of stays there.
So, logistically, from your feedstock and that sort of thing, are you bringing in pallets? Pellets, or how are you feeding your plant here?
So we're structured pretty well. Just being in Texas alone, there's a few resin manufacturers. There's a lot down around Houston area. There's actually some in Longview here that we purchase resin from. Generally, it comes in on rail car. We unload it.
Okay.
And put it into a silo. But we also do have some, we'll bring it in a tote and use it that way.
Okay. So being able, again, shipping globally, no problem. Getting and sourcing mostly local, or a lot of your product locally, you've been able to do that here.
Even locally, just to Texas alone, or if we're getting it from the Houston area, we're right off the major highways like I-20. So it's usually it's same day. If we need to, an emergency shipment of resin or something, we can get it pretty conveniently.
I think that's something that's really important, because as we have manufacturers that are looking to Texas, one, they're like, it's a really big state, right? It's a long way from place to place. But what we tell them is we also have really good infrastructure. And so you can make the trip from Houston, and you can do that. It's not like you're having to drive 3 and 4, days in transit, right? You're able to get product in and out pretty quickly.
Yeah. And we have a lot of benefits around that. Even so, our corporate structure has people built in that, so they'll go to our customers, and if they're having issues with some kind of line or something, they'll go through and work through that. A lot of our customers are in Texas, fortunately. So our plant has this year really kind of changed that way of thinking, and we'll send our local engineers to different plants.
Right.
So we have customers in Galveston, Dallas, all around, in Austin that we all visited earlier this year. So
nice. So let's talk a little bit about CSI, sort of the story of how it got started. Tell me a little bit about the backstory of that, and where, kind of get us up to date here.
CSI was a gentleman named Jim Edgars, who started a company in Shreveport in the late 70s, early 80s, and then he moved to Kilgore. The word on the street is because they have a really good economic development group that helped him get going.
Right.
And that's actually the word. It's not me just being nice, but because Lisa's behind me, right? No.
I've heard the same thing. They've got a pretty good reputation in the state.
Right. And and he moved it here, expanded in early 2000s. They were purchased by Alcoa, I think in 2008. And then it kind of, I think that's when it transitioned from that small company field of a more of a corporate side. Being part of the corporate world has its, it has its benefits, and and it also has some negatives to it, but definitely helped with the safety culture was really driven in there. And that's still the culture we carry today. Focusing on people as a whole, and it's not as much individual. Like I said, that can have its positives and negatives, but it's definitely kind of continued to grow in that direction, which means it will have so maybe back then he would make a closure that was for one customer, and he was the only person that made that closure for that customer. So now we'll have if we have an issue, our sister plant in Crawfordsville, Indiana can pick up and run the same product and kind of make up for it while we...
Right. You sort of standardize the operation so that you have redundancy for your clients and that sort of thing. Okay. All right. And so we talk a little about, and we joke about, at least in the Kilgore Economic Development Corporation, but there's something to be said for that. And when you're a global corporation, it would have been easy to pick up and maybe move or do something different. But you guys have stayed here and continued to invest. What are the things that have kind of helped lead to that? What do you find here in Kilgore that kind of helps you do business?
Yeah, for me, I can give you an example. This weekend, we had a small warehousing issue where we weren't able to use our offsite warehouse. So I needed something quickly. So I just texted Lisa and said, "Hey, do you guys know of anything locally?" And Monday morning, 8:00, I called James, and James said, "Yeah, meet me over here and let's go look and see what we have." And just that quick response, on our corporate level, they're looking in Dallas, and I was like, no, let's look close. Like, let's see what we can find.
You're right.
That makes sense for us because it's just temporary. We need something basically to organize product to get it on the trucking.
Right.
So, like those kind of things, just being willing on a Sunday afternoon to answer me when there's an emergency going on, and answer quickly and helpfully. I mean, those little things that at the end of the day didn't cost anybody anything.
Right.
It means a lot to us. Right.
I have a hard time convincing our audience, and when they call me, that there are people like Lisa, they actually want you to succeed. That's their job. It's not just their job. They want to do it. They're happy to take the text on Sunday to try to help you figure out and problem solve. And they're just not used to that. They're, used to weeks and weeks of no answer, or they only show up when they want to, tax you or tell you you're not doing something right. And so it's great when people like yourself actually share those stories, because it's not just us talking. It's a real thing that happens.
It means a lot to us because at CSI, we have a show-up mentality or a show-up culture, meaning that same Sunday night, my warehouse manager was at the warehouse handling that situation. Our operations manager, myself, met at the plant to review staffing in case we needed to pick up in certain places to meet the customer need while we're trying to figure out the warehousing situation. So,
right.
It means a lot because that's our culture. So it means a lot that it's just
right. When you have a supportive partner to meet you there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It does. Because it's one of our things is if we have short timelines, we expect the same from our people that provide for us, whether
right.
an electrician or it's a programmer, or anybody at all. We expect the same treatment, and we try to make that a fair relationship.
So you talked a little bit about your operation and like how many you're doing, and I'm guessing there's a lot of technology involved in that and automation and those sort of things. How have you been able to source the workforce and to be able to work in that area? I think that also surprises people when we talk about that. They think they have to be in the big metro areas and to find that, but over and over again, we hear people talk about the ability to source skilled labor in areas like Kilgore.
Yeah. So last year we went to Longview, had a business roundtable, and it was just a meeting to talk about different things of different businesses in the area we go to and speak to. And first time I've been to one, it was really cool, really interesting. We learned about, I can't remember which bill it is, but Texas actually has funding for trade schools to encourage that growth. And for us, man, we keep a really tight relationship with Kilgore College. They have a process technology program, an industrial electronics program, and they're working on a few more that just directly line up with a lot of the manufacturers in the area. At that same meeting, one of our other plants in town that's not, it's more of a joking relationship, but not competition by any means. They were asking, how do you hire people? And they said, well, we just get people from CSI, and it's
thanks for that.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a compliment. It was with the back end, I guess. But anyway, but it's funny because like there's that, I think as Texas, we're changing that thinking to where you can bring in a young group that's kind of been an untapped potential the last, decade or so, to now they're starting to have a little bit of the skill set. We're getting internships. I mean, if we have people asking for internships, if I can make it work, I'm going to make it work. But they're also going to have a very strict set of rules to abide by, meaning we want you to understand manufacturing culture. You're not going to be late. You're not going to hide things from us. Like if you have something going on, let us know. We'll work with you, those kind of things.
Right.
That's probably been the hardest part of like that younger generation.
Right. Which is everywhere. It's not that's not a location based thing. Yeah. That is a generational type thing.
Yeah. I was a knucklehead too. So it's all part of it. But yeah, I would say that like having those, and not just Kilgore College, but TSTC is not far from us either, but we've had a few come from there. Kilgore's definitely been our biggest, we've been hiring from.
Today's episode is sponsored by our friends at Kilgore Economic Development Corporation. They're helping businesses grow in East Texas. Kilgore, Texas offers an operational advantage few markets can match, where location, labor, and low cost converge to drive profitability. With prime access to transportation routes, plus low taxes and competitive utility rates, Companies choosing to locate here are positioned to outperform other corporate locations and competitors. Synergy Park, a Class A campus-style business park, offers scenic, shovel-ready sites, and Kilgore Economic Development Corporation delivers hands-on support, tailored incentives, and a resourceful, experienced workforce. For companies seeking scalable growth without gridlock, Kilgore offers a streamlined environment engineered for enterprise expansion.
Well, we have heard earlier from Brandon on the industry side, the education side, and he was talking about those different roundtables and really trying to keep a pulse on what is it industries are needing? How do I get, stay on top of their sort of moving forward, their technology, and what is it they're looking for? So it sounds like that's something that's been valuable to you.
Yep. And I know Brandon. I've had the opportunity to meet with him several times. He's come to our plant, and he's definitely engaged, and they're definitely building the right programs up there.
Awesome. So, and I understand that sustainability is a big part of what you do at CSI. Can you talk a little bit about that, or what that means to you guys? And
yeah, manufacturing as a whole is complicated, right? There's always, especially when you make a lot of parts.
Right. You're making a lot of smaller parts too, right? It's not like one big part. It's a lot of little things. Yeah.
Exactly. And quality still matters because people notice. I mean, you've got the water bottle that you're trying to get it off and it sprays on you. It wasn't ours.
Wow. Now I'll be able to check the logo.
No. Call me on that. So yeah, we're big on Six Sigma. So we follow a lot of like your standard cultural practices for project management, for, training. The root of all that is just organization, right? Like making sure you have standards and that you're following the standards. And then as a leader, you're setting the expectation, right?
Yeah.
I can't show up late and then get on to somebody the next
day.
day.
It's really hard for you to stand over someone and point a finger when,
Right.
Yeah.
And the hardest part of all of it as any manager is that, you're going to invest in people along the way and you're going to want them to be a part of your culture. And there's people you're really going to believe in that you're going to have to let go to.
Right.
I think that's been one of the hardest things that we as a team have had to cross, but we're better because of it.
Right. Yeah, oh man, you're cheering, you want so much, and at some point it's not going to happen, and you got to go a different direction.
It's definitely part of it. It's part of any manufacturing that's going to be. You're going to have people that you need in the moment that may not be your longer plan, but that's why it's so important to have that. Have programs like what Kilgore's doing, what TSTC is doing, to develop a well-rounded young person that you're already training up.
Right.
And ready to move into those positions when those things.
So let's talk a little bit about your plan. What size is it? How many employees do you have?
Yeah. So depending on the season, we're generally around 200 employees.
Okay.
Majority production employees, but majority skilled as well. So we have employees that range from people that, run smaller end of line machines, pack boxes, that kind of thing.
Right.
Then we have injection molding specialists that have to know how to run those machines, and they're really complicated, and we send them through training and all of that. We have maintenance, which is it's still a pretty big group. It's more along the lines of, there's two parts to maintenance, your preventive maintenance and your corrective. And we have a progression plan there as well. So pretty much every department that we have has a clear progression, meaning that we bring you in at this level. We're pretty open with the pay rates when the employee comes. Say, okay, this is what you have to do to get to the next level. It's something that we've learned has been very beneficial in growing people because it gives them a little incentive to keep pushing forward. Yeah, did I answer that question?
So let me ask you this. The other question I get from small business owners or people looking to Texas is they see the $7 an hour minimum wage and think, oh man, I'm so excited. And I'm like, well, that might be the minimum wage, but that's not the minimum wage if you want people that are going to work. That's not generally speaking. Have you seen that? Where are you starting people at? What's a realistic sort of price point for labor in the market?
Yeah, entry-level positions are generally, for me, $17 to $18 an hour.
Yeah.
And then like really skilled employees can make up in the 30s.
Okay. Well, I mean, again, it's great talent and it might be less expensive than where you are, but it's not $7 an hour, right? Like
Right.
that's sort of a false bottom. Like,
Right. Our entry level positions are more than double the
right.
minimum wage.
Okay. Well,
We wouldn't be able to.
yeah. I mean, it's a competitive market and so you've got other industries that are already paying that. And so,
Right.
yeah.
And we pay interns. Our interns are paid, around $15 an hour.
Okay.
Still, we try to keep it pretty, because I mean, ultimately when we have an intern, our thinking isn't you're just trying to check the box for school. Our thinking is, hey, we want this to be an appealing place for you to come back to.
We'd like for you to come back when you're done.
Exactly. Like we want, because you're going to spend on and off. You could spend 2 years with us, right?
Right.
And we want that to be beneficial.
Yeah, they've already kind of gone through the induction phase at that point,
Exactly.
right?
They're
Like
just-
kind of hit the ground
hanging out,
running.
right? Yeah, they're part of the team. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of that's the way we like to see it.
So, being part of a sort of, I mean, you're not just a Kilgore company anymore. How has it changed the culture? I mean, or how have you been able to fit into sort of a corporate global company because you have local employees and that mindset might be a little bit different than, when you have a global company. Have you seen changes or have you been able to do that okay?
Yeah, our company, I'm really fortunate that I think we all are a little fortunate within our company that we're operated. It's not based on the area you work in,
Okay.
or that you're located in. It's kind of at your discretion how you manage your facility.
Sweet. Okay.
So we do have some key standards to follow, but as a whole, we're pretty culture-wise fluid. For myself, starting last year, one of the first things we did was reach out to the Kilgore Economic Development and kind of started getting plugged into that angle, pushing with Kilgore College a little bit as well, because we had a lot of openings last year. So just a little bit of background. Last year was when I was promoted into the production manager.
Okay.
And then this year I was promoted into plant manager. So
Congratulations.
thank you. And it's funny because I have a maintenance background, so it was all been new. But last year, moving into the production manager role, we weren't able to fill positions.
Right.
We had a hard time filling positions. Maintenance, same thing. Closer to the end of last year, we had a similar challenge. But what really changed that was getting plugged in with a local, like just getting plugged in locally.
Right.
Even if it was, we have an employee whose son's going to go to Kilgore College for a different program. And I think some of it's probably encouraged that.
Right.
We'll give them a place to work. We like changing that mindset from, maybe like this conflict of interest mindset to, well, we'll just put them in a different department and they can still come work here. It makes sense, right?
Right.
And they're going to be good because their mom works here, right?
Right.
Right.
Don't embarrass me, son.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I think a lot of that like mindset in creating more of that family culture and getting plugged into like the economic development group, the colleges and stuff like that, that they see those same people that are interns see us coming to meetings with the college and know that we care about that.
Right. I try to get the business owners. That is why we created the Economic Development Connection. Was they are your source locally to try to help you solve. You don't have to try to solve all those problems yourself. I mean, you can go at it alone if you want, but you have a partner who they might not have the answer, but maybe they know somebody else who does, or maybe they know to go this way. Maybe they have access to funds. Maybe it's not even about the dollars and cents. It's just you need to know Bob, and Bob has this pathway that it will allow you to make things happen.
Right? They want you to grow. Like,
right.
They have the same.
They have a vested interest in your success, right?
In the community, and the community's best interest in mind. So, it's definitely been a game changer for us.
Can you talk a little bit about the culture of the people and you talked about that, if you have a family member kind of encouraging their son to come on board, obviously that says a lot about, one, the culture that you've created in the company, but talk a little bit about that from a community standpoint, what you find with your employees at the level. I mean, it feels like it's a community feel.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the way, I mean, it's pretty small. Anybody, even for a facility that's our size, we treat it as a small facility, right? It's
right.
One of the weirdest things we have our office space is 2 floors, right? Whenever I moved into plant manager, I moved my office from the top floor to the lower floor because I just wanted to be accessible and be visible, right?
Right.
Then the production manager did the same thing, and kind of a cascade effect to where all of our managers ended up on the lower floor. And it just created that visibility to where, you know, if you have an issue that you think's important enough that you want to come speak to me about it, you're welcome to. I'm not going to chastise you. I may tell you, hey, this is really an issue that the production manager should be dealing with, you know,
Right.
because I don't want to give that false answer.
Yeah.
But it's definitely been that kind of open door policy to where we're even more accessible. If we see people, you know, we try to it in the community, because we do. I live in Henderson, but a lot of people I work with live in Henderson as well, so we'll run into them at football games and stuff like that. But spend the time to really get to know people. We have a family day coming up, and we do it once a year in October, where we'll shut down the plant. We'll bring everybody in, and we're going to do the first all-employee photo since 19. I'm trying to remember what I think it said 86 on the
Oh, wow.
on the banner. So it'll be our first all-employee photo. So we're just wanting to get. You know, we kind of built a dream team. Our turnover rate is lower than it's ever been. So our turnover rates hovers around 2% right now.
Right. That's incredible for manufacturing. And from a business owner standpoint, I'm thinking that's a big cost savings, right? When you're not losing them out one door and having to pull them in another. And
yeah, I mean, in all fairness, that's voluntary turnover. We still we're a very accountable culture as well, meaning
right.
We have very clear guidelines. Yeah, there's always any good leader understands there's always a gray area when things happen, but
right.
It's just an accountable culture, so you understand what the expectation is, and as long as you meet the expectation, you're going to excel.
Right.
But I think there's also a level of respect that's developed there too, because you know, good employees are relieved when they're accountable, right?
Yeah. Well, it's just like your kids, right? They want to know what the boundaries are. Once they know, then they can flourish.
Yeah, exactly.
It's when it's blurry and they don't know that things can go a little off the rails.
Yeah. So part of that is that I'm going to give them let them get a little payback. We're going to have a dunking booth in October.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're excited about that. But Family Day is definitely a big part of our everybody's. It's really cool to see like the evolution of it. It started maybe 4 years ago. We started doing it. And it was pretty small, not a lot of engagement. Last year we had a really good year, just a good time. And this year it's going to be even better. So
okay,
it's almost like something we built up for.
Right.
And we used to not shut the plant down. So like the people who were working didn't get to be involved. Now we are. So.
Well, that says a lot about your investment too. When you shut down the plant, that's a large investment for you as a company to be able to say, no, we're going to stop today and just pause for, this opportunity.
Yeah. And I mean, I have to give all the credit to the employees on that, because most of us being able to do that is because we run so much better, because we have all good employees, right?
Right.
All really.
Sure. You're able to run ahead and get
Exactly.
taken care of, still serve your customers. You're not running behind.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
So
That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about the future. Like what's on the horizon for you guys, and then that has you really excited about what you do.
That's a hard one. Sometimes we get caught up in the
just the day to day. Right. I understand.
Yeah, I'm excited to see us keep growing. Excited. We have a lot of new projects that could be coming
Okay.
to the pipeline because of we're proving reliability in the last 2 years. Our I don't know if you're familiar with OEE, operational equipment efficiency. So it's a rating of how efficient businesses are or manufacturing facilities are.
Okay.
The Toyota way was 75% back when that was a thing. We're right around 80 right now. So
that's amazing.
Really well. A lot of really good efficiency gains. Our customers are happy and really excited to see the profiles when I say profiles, really excited to see the new product that come up.
Okay. So by being really good with the customers you have, they're going to trust you a little more and give you other different product lines or something that you can take on.
So there's two parts to that. That's a good point. So yes, we have a lot of big name customers that will give you other product that they may be selling to our competition or something like that. And that's probably one of the most common. It's the easiest to win.
Right.
It's the easiest to do well. Actually, do the same thing you do on the other line. But But then again, our sales guys have faith in us, and they see whenever we have an issue, we'll load up. Sometimes I've been to the customer if they're having an issue, and we'll be there to help them keep that relationship going, and so they'll have a little bit more faith in taking a step. And
so they're not afraid to sell into new markets because they know you're going to handle it. They know you have they have the team behind them to say, no, we're going to be able to meet the need, and if there's a little hiccup along the way, we're going to take care of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's cool. Now I'm going to ask you a tough question. Go to restaurant that you hear in Kilgore. Is there a place I need to go that you have clients come in or something that you like to take people to? Or
everybody always asks to go to the Country Tavern. I don't know if that's considered Kilgore enough, but it's.
Well, that's we've heard that answer before, so that's kind of funny. It must be a good place. Yeah.
Country Tavern or the Back Porch.
Okay.
We do the Back Porch quite a bit.
All right. Well, Tyler, this has been awesome. I see you're an Aggie. What class are you?
24. So that's just got my master's.
Oh man, yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Well, welcome to the family.
Thank you. I'm telling you.
I know you said we're sort of we do indoctrinate you when you come on, so. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate what you do for the folks here in Kilgore. I know they appreciate it, and I thank you for your time.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Thanks.
All right, fans, thanks for listening. Learn more about Kilgore by watching the full series at gonetotexaspodcast.com/Kilgore. And as always, thanks for listening and joining us here on the Gone to Texas podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe so more business owners can discover what's possible here in the Lone Star State. If you're a business owner tired of red tape, high cost, and feeling stuck where you are, this is your invitation to come join us here in Texas. The Texas Economic Development Connection exists to help you skip the runaround and connect directly to the people and places ready to help you grow your business today. Because when you find the right spot in Texas, your business wins, your people win, and your future and freedom win too. Visit TexasEDConnection.com today to schedule your free call. I'm your host, Super Dave Quinn, saying bye for now, and until next time, make it a great day.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Gone to Texas, the official podcast of the Texas Economic Development Connection, powered by Day One Experts, a collection of the country's best-known economic development professionals offering on-demand services to communities across the nation.